The story begins with a handsome college student named Adam. He's popular among his peers due to his good looks and athletic ability, as he's part of the basketball team. Adam has a lot of friends and is known for being kind and thoughtful. One day, Adam notices a strange boy in his class who always eats lunch alone. The boy is quiet and keeps to himself, and Adam can't help but feel sorry for him. One day, he approaches the boy and invites him to sit with him and his friends during lunch. The boy, whose name is Andrew, is hesitant at first but eventually agrees to join Adam and his friends. Andrew is a bit weird, but he seems harmless, and Adam is happy to have made a new friend. However, things start to take a dark turn when Andrew begins to stalk Adam. At first, it's just phone calls and texts at odd hours of the night. Then, Adam notices that Andrew is always around, even when he's not supposed to be. He starts showing up at Adam's house uninvited, watching him from a distance. Adam tries to confront Andrew and tell him to back off, but Andrew seems convinced that he and Adam are soulmates. He starts to get more and more aggressive, and Adam becomes increasingly afraid for his safety. One day, Adam is talking to a girl in his class when Andrew appears out of nowhere and kills her. The police are called, and Andrew was arrested and put in jail. Adam is relieved but also racked with guilt, as he feels like he could have done more to stop Andrew before things got out of hand. In the aftermath of the tragedy, Adam struggles to come to terms with what happened. He begins to see a therapist to deal with his trauma, and he starts to withdraw from his friends and family. He wonders if he'll ever be able to feel safe and secure again. Meanwhile, Andrew is still in jail, but he refuses to accept responsibility for what he's done. He insists that Adam is the one who drove him to kill, and he becomes increasingly delusional and unstable. As time passes, Adam tries to move on with his life, but he can't shake the feeling that Andrew is still out there, watching him from afar. He becomes paranoid and fearful, and he starts to see signs of Andrew's presence everywhere he goes. Finally, after months of living in fear, Adam decides to take matters into his own hands. He confronts Andrew in jail, determined to get some answers and to make peace with what happened. What he finds there is not what he expected, and the encounter leaves him more confused and troubled than ever before. As he entered the visitors area, Adam was taken aback by the sight before him. Andrew looked like a shell of his former self. He had lost a considerable amount of weight, and his eyes were sunken in. His hair was unkempt, and his clothes hung off his emaciated frame. Adam couldn't believe how different he looked from the last time he saw him. "Hey, Adam," Andrew said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Hey," Adam replied, not sure how to proceed. "I'm sorry," Andrew said, looking down at his hands. Adam wasn't sure what to make of the apology. He knew Andrew was the one who had caused so much pain and suffering, but he couldn't help but feel sorry for him. He knew what it was like to feel alone and misunderstood, and he couldn't shake off the feeling that things could have turned out differently if he had handled things differently. "It's okay," Adam said, trying to sound reassuring. Andrew looked up at Adam, and for a moment, their eyes met. Adam saw something in Andrew's eyes that made him shiver. There was a hint of madness, a hint of desperation, and a hint of something else that he couldn't quite place. "I need to tell you something," Andrew said, breaking the awkward silence. "What is it?" Adam asked, curious despite himself. Andrew took a deep breath before continuing. "I did it because I love you," he said, his eyes locked onto Adam's. Adam felt his blood run cold at those words. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. How could someone be so deluded that they would resort to such extreme measures just to get someone's attention? "I don't know what to say," Adam replied, feeling a mix of emotions. "It's true," Andrew said, his eyes starting to fill up with tears. "You're the only one who ever showed me kindness, and I just wanted to be with you always." Adam felt a pang of guilt at those words. He couldn't help but wonder if he had somehow encouraged Andrew's obsession by being too kind to him. He knew he had only been trying to help, but he couldn't shake off the feeling that he had played a part in what happened. "I'm sorry," Adam said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's not your fault," Andrew replied, his voice shaking with emotion. As Adam left the jail, he couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that lingered in the pit of his stomach. He knew that Andrew's obsession with him had caused so much pain and suffering, but he couldn't help but feel sorry for him. He knew what it was like to feel alone and misunderstood, and he couldn't shake off the feeling that he could have done more to help Andrew before things spiraled out of control. As he made his way home, In the end, Adam is forced to come to terms with the fact that some things in life are beyond his control. He learns to live with the fear and uncertainty, and he finds comfort in the love and support of his family and friends. Although he'll never be the same person he was before, he knows that he has the strength to face whatever the future may hold.